seems like we have a never-ending heat wave, and so I have been staying pretty close to the ocean, but after doing some shopping a little bit inland, I decided just to stay in that same neighborhood. So I was parked up in the Hillcrest neighborhood, which is just a little north of San Diego. And this is a nice neighborhood. I always enjoy Hillcrest because it's a quiet place to park and a great place to do some walking. It's a great walkable neighborhood. Now, another reason why I chose this neighborhood to park in, not just because it was quiet at night, but I was on my way to check out a specialty coffee roaster. And this coffee roaster is a little bit well known because they roast coffee for a very popular YouTuber named Peter McKinnon. And this is James Coffee Company, and this is one of their 3 locations that they have around San Diego. And the company has a rather novel approach to takeaway containers. They use these little glass jars instead of paper or plastic, which I have never experienced before. But I decided to take my little jar of coffee and walk down to the park to enjoy it. So this coffee I ordered was an oat milk latte, and I was stunned at how good it was. It was really just incredible. Now, there's no doubt in my mind that why I enjoyed this latte so much was that this park was just beautiful and peaceful. The weather was great. I was sitting on the roots of this gorgeous tree, and this is a really great place to just sit for a few minutes and enjoy a really good latte. But that doesn't take away the fact that that latte was just incredible. And then I decided to take advantage of this beautiful neighborhood and do a little bit more walking. The jacaranda trees were still blooming, and it wasn't very warm quite yet. So I walked, and I walked, and I walked, and it was hard to stop walking around this neighborhood because it just was a great place to be, especially with it being nice and cool and sunny and peaceful out. Well, I can honestly say this is the best latte I've ever had, and I say that with a bit of surprise because I didn't think that anybody would be able to make a latte better than Olympia Coffee Roasters. I used to actually park near an Olympia Coffee Roaster on a Friday night. That was kind of a usual thing. They have locations in Olympia, Tacoma, and Seattle, and so wherever I was around there, I would park near an Olympia Coffee just so that I could get up and walk to a Olympia Coffee Roasters to get a oat milk latte from them when I was in the Seattle area. They were that good. I mean, I just would really kind of go out of my way to park near one so I could get to one first thing Saturday morning. So I'm surprised to find a latte that I actually like better. Although I have to say, Olympia's lattes are a little creamier because they use Oatly. Let's see, what is this? Yeah, James, I've already forgotten. See how my brain works these days. James Coffee here doesn't use Oatly, so there's a slight difference in creaminess. But the flavor of the coffee is absolutely incredible. I should have bought a bag of coffee. I didn't make any real plans for today. I wanted to go to James here to get a latte. That was kind of my plan for the day. And I was kind of thinking I'd hang around this area and stay away from the ocean, being that this is a weekend and it's going to be busy. But it's getting warm already. It's getting almost 80 degrees. And normally, since I stay at the coast, I don't deal with anything close to 80 these days. So I'm actually kind of thinking, should I go back to the ocean and deal with the crowds? I'm sweating now. And listen to me. It's not even 80 degrees and I'm complaining about the weather. How spoiled am I? So thinking about the options as to where to head, I figured I might take a chance and head down to James Coffee Company's other location in Little Italy. It's just a couple of miles away, and I was hoping that maybe I would be able to get a bag of the Peter McKinnon blend of coffee. Plus, I wanted to return the jar that my morning takeaway latte came in. So it seemed like a good decision. This is not a neighborhood I would normally head to because I've always found parking to be really tough to find. But here I lucked out because I found a spot that was almost in front of the cafe, and this parking meter still had about a half an hour's worth of time left on the meter. Now, you are allowed to keep these jars, but you can get your $1.50 deposit back if you do decide to return them. Now, the Peter McKinnon roast beans are usually mail order only, but I got lucky and I got a bag. And since this was Saturday, and also another nicely walkable neighborhood, I put a few more coins in the meter and headed down to the Saturday Little Italy Farmers Market. This market was pretty crowded, but it gave me an opportunity to try another local roaster here to San Diego called 7 Seas. And I've been wanting to try them for a little while, so this was a nice little treat to get 2 different local roasters knocked off my list. And taking the long way back to the van, I found a donut shop, and I couldn't resist but to buy a few to try. Well, as much as I would like to dive into those donuts, I haven't had any real food today, so I think I'd better hold off on eating these. They look so good. It's hard not to eat these right away, but I think I'd better eat some real food first and drink a lot more water. It's pretty warm at the moment, at least warm for me. Like I said before, I'm not used to this weather, although it's much cooler down here by the water. It's not as cool as I'd like to be, so I think I want to head over and get closer to the water for the rest of the day. Might as well be comfortable, right? With this being midday on a weekend, I figured most of the prime beach locations would be pretty jammed up for parking. So I headed to a place that I knew would have some parking, which is Mission Bay, and it's really just a few miles from where I was. Mission Bay is never my first choice of a place to park up for the day, but I found that this little spot at De Anza Park, which is a part of Mission Bay here, I can usually find parking a little bit better. I would prefer to be at the ocean instead of the bay. That's why I just don't usually come out here. But if I'm heading to the bay, I find that this is probably my preferred place to hang out, is De Anza, instead of kind of the more popular spot, which is off in that direction. It gets really busy down here no matter where you are. But really all I need right now is a place to park and a place to make lunch. So I'm making just a simple little hamburger here. If it seems like I'm eating a lot of red meat lately, I kind of am. I've been kind of craving red meat for some reason, and so I've just been buying it if I can find it on sale. So this is some grass-fed beef, which is what I normally like to buy. And I'll just kind of look on, boy, it's noisy out here. It's busy and noisy out here. I'll just look online and check sales, and then if I can find a sale, I'll drive out to the store and buy some. So that's what this was. It was pretty inexpensive for grass-fed beef, and so I think it was $6 for just over a pound, which is actually a pretty good price for grass-fed beef. Seems to usually be like $10 a pound, and I just can't really pay that. I should have, I'm feeling a little silly, I should have bought vegetables and food and stuff at the farmer's market, but buying all the coffee and, well, especially the, where is it, the Peter McKinnon coffee, it's kind of put me over my food budget, way over my food budget. But from time to time I do it. I should mention, I buy fancy coffee once in a while. Now I normally only buy it on sale, but every once in a while I'll make an exception, like for this. But I buy fancy coffee because I have a few Patreon supporters. I think there's like 3 of them that have specifically told me that they want me to be buying better quality coffee, and so it's for you that you, since you have requested it, that's what I am doing. I'm just honoring your request, and today's coffee has been pretty darn good. This has actually been really good, the 7 C's. Not quite as good as the James coffee. Why do I keep forgetting the name of it? Yeah, James coffee from earlier, but yeah, this is cool, and their packaging is just really awesome. They have this this really neat packaging on their coffee. Well, maybe you can't see that quite so well, but yeah, it's been a good day for coffee anyway. I have been responsible and eaten a little something. That burger was pretty good, by the way. And I'm kind of past it because now I have donuts. Now I can eat my donuts because I did the right thing and I ate good food. Now, hopefully this won't do me in. I haven't had a donut, I think, since last year. There's very few donuts that I can eat, and I'm hoping that this one doesn't bother me. We'll find out, but boy, they look so good. Here we go. That's a good donut. That's a very good donut. As good as that donut is, it's sweet, really sweet. I'm probably just not used to eating donuts. I haven't had any in quite a while. I'm glad I have a little bit of coffee left. This is cold, this 7 C's coffee that I bought now, I don't know, a couple of hours ago. It's cold and it still tastes good. That's a testament to really good coffee. I did put a little bit of Oatly in it because I was drinking it black, and I normally like a little bit of cream in my coffee, so I put a little bit of Oatly in it for cream. And yeah, this has been an awesomely good day coffee-wise, even if I do keep complaining about the weather. This has been an awesome day for coffee. I've had several days where I've just been sitting around in the van, so I think Today, I'm gonna walk because I enjoyed getting up this morning and walking around. So I think I want to keep that going. This is pretty typical here for a weekend. It's pretty busy out here. Lots of families, lots of groups to gather out here. But it's a nice spot. You know what I need is a friend with a boat. Why do I not have a friend with a boat? One of the many reasons why this is such a popular area is there's a free dump station here if you have an RV. And it's odd because there's no RVs lined up here. There's usually a big long queue to get in here to use this, because it's really easy to get to. That's the 5 freeway, so you can jump off the 5 and get over here to this dump station pretty easily if you've got an RV. Something to keep in mind if you do have an RV. Of course, I don't have to worry about all that kind of stuff. I have come back to the van because I'm getting a little bit warm. So I think I'm just going to put my feet up for a bit, and to help cool myself down, I just pulled out my little swamp cooler. If you're interested in knowing a little bit more about this little thing, I did do a review. I'll put a link up here if I remember. It doesn't work in all areas, but it should work here. You have to have dry weather in order for these little things to work. And you just fill up this little reservoir with water and then pop this in, and it does a fairly good job of blowing some kind of cooler air at you, but it only cools down what it's blowing at. It doesn't cool the van down necessarily. Well, it doesn't cool the van down at all, but it does provide a little bit of coolness at whatever the fan is pointed at. But it doesn't have a very strong fan, and it doesn't do a lot. But for weather like this, where it's actually pretty nice out here, it's quite a bit cooler here than it was in Hillcrest, where I was earlier. It's always surprising to me that it's just a few miles away and it's so much cooler. Anyway, I'm going to get this on and direct it at me, and then I should probably cook some rice in anticipation of dinner tonight as well. Well, that's nice. I wasn't expecting this to cool too much because it is a little bit humid here today, but it's actually putting off quite a bit of cool air. I'm surprised at how well it's working. So that's nice, since I'm a little overheated from walking so far in the sun. The other thing that's cool is my new stove, which I just got recently, works really well even if I've got the doors open. I just closed this door because somebody parked right next to me, but hopefully he doesn't hear me say that. But I just closed it for privacy is all. But yeah, I mean, I can leave the doors open and the stove works just fine. So I'm quite happy with that. Before, when I would cook rice, I'd have to close all the doors, and if there was any little bit of wind at all, the flame would go out with my old stove. The flame would go out, and I'd have to relight it, and it was just a real big pain. And this stove's just been phenomenal. I'm really happy with it. So, especially cooking rice, which you need to have a nice low simmer, and this has been able to handle that. So I'm happy with the stove so far. It allows me to kind of put it on, leave it to do its thing, and I can do something else, and I don't have to sit and pay attention to it the whole time, which is nice. Well, I did what I normally do, and I made far too much rice. I like to make extra, but this is a bit excessive. Anyway, I guess I've got plenty to eat for tonight and tomorrow. That's all right. I like doing stir fries, but I don't have any vegetables. I'm really feeling silly that I didn't buy any vegetables at the farmer's market, although in my defense, the prices were outrageous out there. It was an all organic farmer's market, and I guess that's why the prices were so high. But I was just thinking, I like organic stuff if I can afford it, but good Lord, the prices were just crazy. So I'm not really too upset I didn't buy any vegetables, but I was walking by. I could have, but yeah, at those prices, I think I made the right call. I'll figure out something to do with this. Anyway, I've still got leftovers to make here in the van anyway. It's not like I'm gonna starve. Certainly got enough rice. I thought I didn't have any vegetables left, but I've got one zucchini and a little bit of cabbage that has seen better days, but I can still use it. It's fine. And of course I got plenty of rice, so I'm going to chop these up and stir fry them up. All of a sudden now, I don't want to be here because there's a guy parked 4 spots over that has decided to play his music for everyone within a 2-mile radius. It's not pleasant here now, but I gotta eat and I'm all set up, so I will finish making dinner and then maybe I can go someplace and watch the sunset without the music playing, without his music playing, I should say. I may have rushed making dinner a little bit, but this is all right. Turned out all right. It seemed quiet all of a sudden, and then I just realized Mr. Noisy left. I wonder if he heard me talking about him. I don't really care. I'm just glad he's gone. I am really glad that I didn't leave here earlier. I probably would have left if the noisy music playing guy was still there, but I'm glad that he left and I decided to stick around. I enjoy driving, but I haven't been doing a lot of driving these days. I really don't like dealing with traffic, and I don't like buying gas. And unfortunately, those are 2 things you got to deal with usually when you're driving, especially in the city like I was today. So I really didn't want to do any more driving today, but I enjoy driving. I just have had enough for today. So I'm glad I stayed here. The only problem is I'm in the wrong spot to watch the sunset, but it's pretty here. There's no complaining at all. Now it's getting to be nice and cool, which is good. I got a little overheated today. That was the only downside of the day today, was I got a little bit too warm. When I was a kid, I got heat stroke, and I have to really be careful. I notice, especially as I'm getting older now, it's becoming more and more of a problem, but since I had heat stroke when I was a kid, it is a problem. So something I have to watch. When it gets a little bit warmer, I've got to make sure I don't get overheated, because I'll end up having a huge problem. So no huge problems today. Lots of good coffee. I've got more fresh coffee now, and I've got another one of those donuts, and this will be a nice end to the day. These donuts are a little bit too sweet for me, but I'm gonna give this one a go, because yeah, I bought it, I have to eat it, right? So this has been pretty awesome. This has been really, even with the noise, of the music and the noise of the freeway behind me and all. This has been a really nice place to be. And it's been a really, really nice day. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it.